Welcome to Two Guys in a Podcast. I'm Tom.
And I'm Mike.
Back at you with another reaction video.
Booyah! So, we tried this guy once before, and it was our...
We failed.
Bombing video,
Yes.
We'll call it.
Some of you might know who we're speaking of.
If you watch us on a regular basis, you will know that Norm McDonald was our bombage.
We bombed it.
But...
we admit it.
Stand by while we get after it again.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, we're back with another Norm McDonald. We're going to give it a go.
A second, Norm.
This is...
but this isn't one of his stand-ups, right? So this is a stand-up on the last Letterman Show.
Yes, which has been requested a lot.
We requested a lot. So we figured, all right, we'll try it again.
So this is normally how the requests go for this. You two are idiots. Norm McDonald's the funniest man on the planet. Do this one. And then they have the link to this clip. Because we freely admit that we were a little distracted and didn't pay attention.
So let's see what happens.
Let's see if he can keep our interest this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is something exciting. Our next guest made his stand-up debut. I did not remember that. This man began his television stand-up debut with us 25 years ago.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Very talented actor. Nobody funnier. Ladies and gentlemen, Norm McDonald.
Nobody funnier. But our audience is perfect.
I don't know about that.
Thanks, guys. Listen, I don't want to brag or anything, but me and Oprah are making the same money tonight.
That's because she was on the show, too.
But the show has loosened up considerably. I noticed I was watching Oprah and Dave talking about weed and booze. I don't do either of those. The hardest drug I ever did, LSD. And I remember as a kid, I was like 16, and I remember they warned me. They said, hey, you got to be careful with that LSD on account of you can get a flashback. 10 years can go by, 20 years, 30 years, and a flashback will happen. So I thought, hey, that seems like a good deal. You tell me I buy a drug for $5, I eat it, I get high, and then 20 years later I get high again?
Perfect deal.
That's not the point. I like to stretch my drug dollar. The point is this. 10 years have passed, 20 years have passed, 30 years have passed, and no flashbacks. What a gyp that turned out to be. Just more horse by the big acid companies, that's all it is. But I can't believe it's been a quarter century since I made my television debut. It was all different back then. You know, it was back then, I remember if you wanted to take a picture, you would use a camera, not a telephone. As a matter of fact, if you used a telephone, people would look at you odd. You'd be like, just stay still like that. What about in the old days when they took pictures of you way back, you know, where they pulled that thing and exploded and stuff? I got a picture of my great-grandfather. The thing took 6 hours to take your picture, and it was a picture of my great-grandfather, one. They only had, every guy had one picture back then. And it's just him like... I gotta get back, feed them hogs. Who's gonna feed the hogs? Somebody gotta feed them hogs. Now, in the future, of course, it'll be different. 50 years from now, people will be going like, hey, you want to see 100,000 pictures of my great-grandfather?
Probably true.
I got 'em them right here, plus everything he did every day of his life. Hey, this occurred to me today. ID, which I had to show it again. There's a strange abbreviation when you think about it. I is short for I. And then D is short for dentification. They could have split that one up a little better, you know? But I watch the TV, I watch the news, make you afraid, the news, you know? Put all these stories on, Iraq, Iran, North Korea, you know, try to scare you, you know? But does it ever really scare you? Like, you ever wake up in the middle of the night, North Korea! That little tiny country across the ocean. I wonder if they'll get me. Plus, didn't MASH settle that like 20 years ago? Why'd I have to watch that stupid show? There is one country that worries me, though. Not Iraq, not Iran, not North Korea. The only country that really worries me is the country of Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but...
History buffs. Germany.
In the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world. That had never been tried before. And so you figure that would take about 5 seconds for the world to win, but no, it was actually close. Then about 30 years pass, and Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, Schrankly, Crankly, that guy. And I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name, but I think you know what I'm talking about. But you'd think at that point the world will go, listen, Germany, here's the deal. You don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. I mean, what do you think, you're Mars or something? Anyways, listen, folks, this will be my last time on the David Letterman Show, I understand.
I understand.
And you guys, we all know that David Letterman was the greatest talk show host who ever lived. But I remember Dave differently because the first time I saw him, I was 13 years old. I was living in... I was living in Toronto, Canada, and I went to a talk show they had there. And David Letterman was the stand-up comedian on the show. And I loved stand-up. And David Letterman did this joke that I told everybody this joke. I love this joke. It still stays with me as my favorite stand-up joke ever. So I'd like to do it for you if you'd like to hear it. He goes, I was on the street the other day and I saw a garbage truck, and on the back of the garbage truck there was a small sign that said, "Please do not follow too closely. Another of life's simple pleasures ruined by a meddling bureaucracy," ladies and gentlemen. You remember the old days when Dad would pile the kids in the station wagon and we'd all go out and follow a garbage truck? So anyways, I'd just like to say, I know that Mr. Letterman is not for the mawkish, and he has no truck for the sentimental, but If something is true, it is not sentimental. And I say in truth, I love you.
Oh, my God.
You got choked up there pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Norm.
I did read an article that said Letterman thought he was one of the better comedians ever.
Very funny, Norm. And thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Norm McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. That was very sweet, Norm. Good night, everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah,
The lighter side of Norm.
So, yeah, I did read an article that said that Letterman thought he was because their comedy was very, if you ever saw super early Dave Letterman stuff, very similar kind of comedy styles. But he thought Norm was like one of his best comedians ever on his show.
That was good, but
It wasn't bad.
It's not my taste of
Yeah,
comedy.
it's still
but he's
Norm is
funny.
Norm's good, especially if you go back to Saturday Night Live days with the Weekend Update and stuff. I mean, he is hilarious, but he's an acquired taste.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
I think it would be better to watch a whole special of his than little clips, because I think then you get the context of what he's doing.
I think
and
he's
stuff.
maybe what I would label, nobody else would, but what I would label is like an intellectual comedian, right? You got to kind of listen and
the nuances of what he's saying.
yeah, you got to kind of be really into what he's saying to get his comedy.
And when I've seen him on like a lot of late nights, right? So he goes on Conan and all these other things, and what is interesting about Norm that most other comedians don't do, but he does a lot, is he starts telling a story, and then will drift off, and then come back to the story, and then drift off again, and like it's kind of funny how he'll be ranting about A over here, and he'll end up talking about B and C for 2 minutes, and then go, well, back to the story. Like it's like it's
But that
creative
takes
the way he
talent,
does it.
and some people like me would get
Like,
too
what?
sidetracked.
Yeah, you're
by
like
it. And
shiny
then,
out there.
Hey, wait, come back to
Like
where
we
you were
did
at.
in the first video.
Probably.
So anyway, there's another Norm
There you
and
go.
that one's been requested a lot. Last stand-up, I remember watching that when it actually happened. I remember him getting emotional like that.
Not me.
But yeah, that was good. I mean, Norm is a good stand-up comedian, and you know, we didn't do him justice in the first show, but that was funny. That was
Maybe
good.
we'll do some more of his stand-up.
Yeah, we'll
see.
try to find some. Give us some clips of you think what his funniest stuff is, and that way we don't kind of have to search for it. So
Yeah,
give
link
us some
it in
clips.
the
We'll try them
comments.
out. You put them down there, we'll basically try it. So anyway, thanks for the suggestions on that. We got back to a Norm Macdonald finally. Good stuff there, Norm. Keep it up. And we thank you guys for subscribing, you guys and gals for subscribing and liking and notifications and all that stuff. And stand by for more content. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Tom. Deuces.